A warrant was issued following a speeding violation. Records also show he was driving without a valid driver's license and faced an additional charge for having an unrestrained child in the vehicle. According to police, no one in the SUV was wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. A change in the defense team for the Walmart shooting suspect. El Paso defense attorney Joe Spencer will now lead the defense on both the state and federal capital murder trials of Patrick. According to court documents, they show that Spencer will be paid $195 an hour, the maximum rate of death penalty cases. Meantime, jury trials and jury selection will soon resume at the El Paso County Courthouse. Temperature checks will be conducted for those summoned to jury duty, along with symptom surveys. Jury pools will also be reduced to 100 people. Other changes at the courthouse include mandatory face coverings, observance of social distancing, and face shields will be provided. A judge says these modifications were planned in respect to the criminal justice system safely.
This isn't something that we're forcing individuals or parties to go to trial. This is when, in the event, and there will be the event, so when people are ready to go to trial and their client, their defendant client, wants to have his or her day in court, that we are going to be ready to allow them to proceed with an in-person jury trial.
Trials will continue to be open to the public with modifications. Live streams will also be available to the public. Some businesses in Texas, including here in El Paso, were able to go up to 75% capacity on Monday. The owner at Trattoria Bella Sera, East Side Italian restaurant, says it's been learning a process to get back on business amid the pandemic. But she says the business is much more now. Takeout and curbside options, they have helped. El Paso City County Health Authority says those are good ways to stay safe and keep local businesses afloat.
For those people that do the drive-thru or take out to spend time at home, it brings a lot of benefits, such as spending more time with the family, having some other more closer family activities that definitely bring a lot more positive things than just going out by themselves or separately.
Dr. Arcaranza added that the gatherings from the Labor Day weekend are a factor in the rise of local virus cases. A look at the latest coronavirus numbers. Cases continue to slowly rise in El Paso County. 3 more deaths are being reported, all men with underlying health conditions. Health authorities report 167 new cases along with 2 delayed results from the state. Now the active cases are above 3,000. There are 22,821 cases to date and over 19,000 cases considered recovered. And also there are currently 148 patients in area hospitals being treated with COVID-19. 2 more were reported yesterday. 6 more patients admitted into ICU. That total now is 58. Patients on ventilators slightly decreasing, that number currently at 27. And Bowie High School is confirming that one of the students has tested positive for COVID. According to El Paso ISD, the student had been on campus and was in contact with students and staff. District officials say everyone who had contact with the student has been notified and must quarantine. EPISD adds the campus has been disinfected. 2 more Las Cruces public school staffers report testing positive for the virus. LCPS tells KTSM one employee is from Hermosa Heights Elementary and the other is from Mesa Middle School. Both campuses are scheduled to be sanitized and all staff have been notified. These cases bring the total number of LCPS employees to have tested positive to 10. Meantime, the New Mexico Department of Health reports 18 COVID-19 cases in Doña Ana County. No deaths have been reported. Chihuahua state health officials are reporting 32 new cases and 4 new deaths, bringing the total number of people who have died from the virus to 839 in Juarez. And travel restrictions may remain at ports of entry even as the U.S. State Department lowers travel warnings for Mexico. The travel advisory went from a level 4 to a level 3. The State Department is still warning against travel to northern Mexican states due to heavy crime. The level 3 advisory also applies to Chihuahua. Borderland travel is still restricted to essential travel only due to the pandemic. And moving along, if you're going to be on the road today, in today's traffic report, some daytime closures to watch out for this week. Happening today from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I-10 westbound between Noble and Angie. Both right lane and the Dallas ramp will be closed. Crews will be working on those guardrails. And on South Americas Avenue, northbound to southbound, the turnaround at North Loop Drive will be closed. This will run all week from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then also I-10 east and westbound, the Red Road exit and left lane will be closed. Crews will be working on the shoulder from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Your Ways Traffic Check, sponsored by Lachine Bias and Enderman Injury Lawyers.
Now, a little closer look at things right now. If you are on Sunland Park, well, there we go. We're going to go to the Waze app. It looks like it's only a 15-minute drive. If you're trying to get across town, that's not bad at all if you're moving through. And then also looking, if you're going from north to south in town, it's only going to take 12 minutes for you to go through, so that's a pretty good time. In El Paso, it's just not a lot of traffic. I love that. And then 15 minutes if you're making the cross-town drive there. Not a lot of traffic. Coming up, before you make any holiday plans, you'll want to freshen up on the new CDC guidelines. Then soul food. That's giving one El Paso woman purpose while giving back to her community.
And we are in the first day of fall, meaning there's lots of changes coming ahead for the next few months. I'll have all those details coming up. Thanks for watching KTSM 9 News at Noon.
You're watching KTSM 9 News at Noon with Susie Castillo, Jay Russell, and forecaster Selena Quintana. If you have a news story, call our hotline now, 915-533-KTSM. Reach us via social media or email us at news@ktsm.com.
Tonight on News Nation.
I'm Joe Donlin. Tonight, we sit down with President Trump here at the White House. With the election just weeks away, we'll talk about his thoughts on his path to a second term, also the replacement for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and the coronavirus pandemic. That and much more with our interview with the president tonight on News Nation on WGN America.
I'm a doctor here in New Mexico. If you don't believe in facts and science, we've got a problem. That's why Mark Ronchetti is so troubling. He spread false information about the coronavirus. He even praised Donald Trump's pandemic response as very good, while New Mexicans die in our hospitals. Ronchetti denies science and ignores experts. He's not ready for the Senate.
I'm Ben Ray Lujan, and I approve this message.
The 529 plans we've been contributing to can help us pay for things like tuition, books, and even new computers or tablets.
First savings for your child's education with a 529 from the Education Plan. A little today goes a long way. Learn more at theeducationplan.com.
Yvette Harold didn't care about teachers when she voted to cut their retirement, yet voted to protect her own taxpayer-funded benefits. Harold didn't care about those out of work when she voted to cut unemployment benefits, yet collected over $100,000 in taxpayer funds for perks and benefits. Even traveled to lavish conferences in Washington, D.C. Yvette Harold cares about herself, never about you. DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hear ye, a new Food King, the king of low prices, is now open in El Paso, where you only pay our cost plus just 10% at checkout. Only at our new location will you find great savings like center-cut beef shanks, just 77 cents per pound. Pork sirloin roast, bone-in, only 58 cents a pound. Red and green seedless grapes, just 68 cents a pound. So stop in and let the savings begin. Food King, 1480 George Dieter.
Here you go. Double cheese fries, double cheese chili fries, and a double cheese chili dog. We are actually running low on cheese sauce.
I'll go check it out. Oh, that explains it. Cool floaties.
Dive into all the new cheesy goodness during Ooze Fest at Wiener Schnitzel.
Oaxaca Flaca loves Popeye's Ghost Pepper Wings, and we love her dance skills.
Doing my happy dance. Ghost pepper wings. So good.
Get the new Ghost Pepper Wings with a biscuit for just $4.99. Take them home or get them delivered.
Mom's gonna kill us.
Gorilla Super Glues. Of course.
Gorilla has a fix for every project. Original brush and nozzle and ultra-controlled gel for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
It is officially fall, which means some people may think about how the upcoming holidays will be impacted by the pandemic. The CDC has issued some guidelines on how you can celebrate Halloween and Thanksgiving safely. The agency says the lower risk activities include carving pumpkins and doing virtual costume visits. Then also, when it comes to Thanksgiving, the agency recommends people to have a small dinner with only people who live in your household, and shopping in crowded stores around the holiday, it should be avoided. But I think Selena may try to get out there to get some new boots or something, or get a new pumpkin. You just got to be very, very careful, okay, Selena?
I mean, I guess. I'm just kidding. I'll definitely make sure I'm wearing my mask. Maybe carve a little mask on my pumpkin, my little jack-o'-lantern. You never know. You never know. Well, today is the first day of fall, meaning we're in our second equinox of the year. What does that mean? That means today is one of the days of the year, because we only have 2 days like this, where the daytime hours and the nighttime hours are equal. After today, we're going to start seeing longer nights and shorter days. So for those of you who prefer the cooler seasons, well, good news for you. We're finally entering it. But the thing is, we're starting off fairly warm for this fall. Get a look at this. Temperatures right now, 81 degrees in El Paso for your noontime hour, 82 in Las Cruces, 84 in Deming, and 82 in Juarez. Now, these aren't our highs for today. These are just what we're seeing right now. We're going to continue to warm up into the rest of today. We've got a lot of drier air due to a high pressure system in our area. And when we have drier air here in the borderland, we tend to see warmer temperatures. So that's exactly what is happening. You can go ahead and already see a lot of that warmer, drier air flowing throughout much of our region. And as that continues to flow through the borderland, we're going to see temperatures rise. And they're going to rise fairly quickly throughout the next few hours, as we're expecting to see temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s. So with that being said, your NMSU campus cast, this is a live look at NMSU. You can see we still have those hazy conditions, but we're expecting to reach that high of 89 degrees today. Now, normally for this time of year, we should be around 87 or 88 degrees, so we're slightly above average in Las Cruces, but those winds will stay calm as they move in at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As for El Paso, we're going to be about 4 degrees above average, 92 degrees. We should be done with the 90s for this time of year, but that high pressure system is really keeping us warm, so we will be above average, and that's going to last for quite a while, and that's going to last through that's going to take effect throughout much of the region. Get a look at this: 101 for Deming and Juarez, 90 degrees for Guadalupe Pass. Everywhere else really staying above average as well, at 89 degrees in Van Horn as well as Las Cruces, and 89 in TRC. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's fall, so we should start to see changing colors, right? Well, although it's the first day of fall, we can't expect to see those leaves changing color as early as this afternoon. We should start to see them until the beginning of November, at least in El Paso and Las Cruces. As for this afternoon, 90 degrees is what we're expecting to reach by 6 p.m. So we'll start to cool down, the warmest part of the day being 4 to 5 p.m. and then we should reach the 80s by 9 p.m. Now, we're only a few days away from Halloween, or not a few days away. We're still a little while away from Halloween, but now that we're in fall, we can finally start our own countdown. Let's take a look at the rest of your 9-day forecast. We're going to continue to stay above average, 96 degrees for your Saturday, before we see a cold front move in through the weekend. Now, don't forget, you can always get a look at your forecast and check out live radar on KTSM.com.
Thank you, Selena. Next, Cooking with Soul, the cook behind the Cajun food. Her story is sure to inspire. And also, climate advocacy groups protesting a new generator in Northeast El Paso. Their claims coming up. Stay with KTSM 9 News at noon.
It was my third tour in Afghanistan. I was flying a medevac mission when I was shot through the windshield and we went down. So I strapped myself to the skids of the helicopter that rescued us and returned fire on the Taliban as we flew to safety. For that, I was awarded the Purple Heart and the Distinguished Flying Cross with Valor. I'm MJ Hagar, and we fought like hell to get everyone home safe that day. And I prove this message because my mission isn't over, while Texas families are still in danger.
Every Texan counts.
But we need your help. Because when you complete the census, your voice helps determine the future of every family and every community in Texas. You can complete the census online at 2020census.gov or by calling 844-330-2020. Let's count Texas.
This is what keeps me steady. Out here, I'm close to the land, grounded, focused on what's important. Because out here reminds me just how petty and small so much of politics really is. Nobody cares which party you line up with. They want you to put it all aside, work with everyone, and deliver. I'm Xochitl Torres Small, and I approve this message.
The unknown is not empty. It's a storm that crashes and consumes, replacing thought with worry. But one thing can calm uncertainty: an answer, uncovered through exploration, teamwork, and innovation. An answer that leads to even more answers. Mayo Clinic. You know where to go.
We are the land of enchantment, but where New Mexico families see places to explore, Yvette Harrell sees dollar signs. She's taken over $280,000 from special interests that could profit off the development of our national public lands. And Harrell pushed legislation to remove protections from millions of acres. We can't let Yvette Harrell turn New Mexico into the land of development. LCV Victory Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Thank you for watching KTSM 9 News at noon, putting local first.
When an El Paso resident suddenly lost her job due to the pandemic, she decided to turn her tale of misfortune into one of hope. Started her own business making traditional Cajun food, all while putting a little more soul back into her community. KTSM 9 News reporter Carla Draxler has more.
So I put my heart into everything that I could. My heart, my foot, my elbow, my fingers, I put everything into it. I had a job for 14 years doing garnishments. This fish is just so fresh. And so when this pandemic came, I don't think any of us thought that we were gonna start getting, laid off. When we heard about the layoffs, going from something that you did for 14 years to all of a sudden not having a job, it's like, what am I gonna do now? A little bit of Cajun seasoning. My kids were like, Mom, the one thing you do not know how to cook is cook small. So why don't you cook big and make it big? Oh my gosh, Mom. It means family, because a lot of times with those foods to prep, you need help. I don't know any other way to put it except for family, because that's how I got so close to my mom and dad, is being in the kitchen with them all the time. So my dad was the one that really instilled in me that I needed to cook with my family, that was something you do as a family. I love you. But his cooking, like the gumbo is all my dad. The gumbo is all my dad. Usually some people only use one of the meats. I use both of them because it gives it a smoked taste. I love the fact that they did make me get in that kitchen with them, because I learned a lot from them. And so it's got me where I'm at now, as far as in being positive and knowing that I'm going to make it. And maybe have my restaurant one day.
Ask Monica, sponsored by Truly Nolan Pest Control. This week's question comes from...
My question is, why do we get so much rain here in El Paso and flooding here, especially in August?
Great question, Philip. Well, August, on average, is the wettest month of the year, and the reason, it perfectly aligns with the wet phase of the monsoon. So as we begin to see monsoonal moisture slowly beginning to stream, of course, it starts from Mexico, and then eventually it aligns just nicely right over the desert southwest. By that time, it's already August, going into September. And the reason we get flooding is, well, because once we have a lot of rain over an area of nonstop, soils are saturated, we definitely get to see some localized flooding. Now, if you have a question, I have an answer. Go ahead and submit them over to our KTSM.com website under the Ask Monica tab.
This segment is sponsored by Truly Nolan Pest Control.
Quick, powerful, relentless. That's Truly Nolan. With over 80 years of experience, we are engineered to go after bugs and pests like there's no tomorrow. And for them, there isn't. Because with Truly Nolan, there's no escape. Visit TrulyNolan.com today.
Call 544-5200. James Kennedy, he's my hero.
My dad has helped thousands of injured El Pasans. If you need an experienced injury lawyer who lives and works in El Paso, call James Kennedy at 544-5200. James Kennedy, he's my hero.
Call 544-5200. James Kennedy, he's my hero. One tough rougher.
I'm Norm.
I'm Saz.
And we live in Columbia, Missouri. We do consulting, but we also write.
We take care of ourselves constantly. It's important. We walk 3 to 5 times a week, a couple miles at a time.
We've both been taking Prevagen for a little more than 11 years now. After about 30 days of taking it, we noticed a clarity that we didn't notice before.
It's still helping me. I still notice a difference.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
My journey started here, a Head Start classroom just down the road from the church. I've had a few jobs along the way, concessions at the flea market, dealing blackjack, eventually graduating from Highlands. Places like these can take you anywhere. That's why I fought to increase funding for education, community colleges, and worker training across New Mexico. I'm Ben Ray Lujan. I approve this message because opportunity should be available to every New Mexican.
Alice loves the scent of Gain so much, she wished there was a way to make it last longer. Say hello to your fairy godmother, Alice. And long-lasting Gain scent beads, part of the irresistible scent collection from Gain.
Did you know that some aluminum-free deodorants only mask odor? Secret Aluminum-Free helps eliminate odor instead of just masking it, and is made with 3 times more odor fighters. With Secret, odor is one less thing to worry about. Secret.
Given the challenges we're facing today, we're seeing patients who are waiting too long to seek care.
By delaying care, you might be jeopardizing your health. Emergencies can't wait. Don't delay your care.
You may think your chest pain is just heartburn, but it could be more serious. Don't delay.
Don't put yourself or your loved ones at risk. Don't delay.
We are taking extra precautions for your safety. There's no reason to stay away. Don't delay.
All of our emergency rooms throughout El Paso are here to care for you.
Don't delay.
Don't delay.
Don't delay.
KTSM 9 News, your local weather authority.
Since El Paso is one of the sunniest cities in the world, we should take advantage of our solar energy rather than focusing in fracking plants and fracking options of energy that are harmful to the environment.
Members of the Sunrise El Paso and other climate action advocacy groups are protesting the addition of the new generator at the Chaparral Station in Northeast El Paso. The group is concerned this would impact air quality by emitting large amounts of greenhouse gases. They propose using solar power instead of a fossil coal or fossil fuel, but El Paso Electric says they are proposing the use of a combination of solar, battery, and natural gas. The utility adds the new system would actually help reduce carbon emissions.
carbon-free utility. And as we look into the future, reducing carbon out of the air, so reducing carbon emissions and looking towards a carbon neutral or reduced carbon generation utility.
El Paso Electric says the new generator would replace 2 old units and use less water and air cooling technology, which reduces its carbon footprint. To make the process of registering to vote easier, the League of Women Voters in El Paso is holding a drive-thru voter registration going on right now until 6 in this evening. You can head to the Alamo Drafthouse Montecillo parking lot to participate. The local group also hosting candidate forums for districts 2, 3, 4, and 7. A mayoral candidate forum will follow. The event comes just weeks before the election day arrives. The league says that they want the El Paso community to know what's happening in their community.
It's important to show your voice, and the city government is your voice. They vote on things like streets and parks. They vote on museums. They vote on all aspects of what's important for citizens.
You can tune in to any of the forums at the League of Women Voters Facebook page, where they'll be going live. Times for each forum can be found there.